In the spring of 2010, San Francisco felt like the center of the universe. The air buzzed with caffeine and ambition. Every block seemed to hide a startup in a converted warehouse. Every coffee shop doubled as an office. You could overhear million-dollar ideas while waiting for your latte. And sometimes you'd wonder if the guy next to you in line might be the next Steve Jobs, or just someone with a very expensive hoodie. I was 27, a freelance designer renting a corner desk in a co-working loft on Market Street. My workspace was a collage of my life, stacks of sketches, a laptop that never cooled down, and coffee mugs with rings that told the story of too many late nights. Money was always tight. Rent in the city was climbing faster than my rates. Utilities, groceries, the occasional medical bill, they all took their share before I could even think about saving. I lived invoice to invoice, chasing deadlines, chasing payments, chasing the next gig. San Francisco in those days was a paradox. You could be sitting next to someone building the next Facebook, and yet be one missed paycheck away from moving back in with your parents. The city was full of dreamers, but dreams didn't pay the landlord. One rainy morning, I was deep in a project when an acquaintance stopped by my desk. He had that look you see a lot in this city, eyes lit up, mind racing faster than his words. He told me about a photo sharing app he was building. Simple idea: take a picture, add a filter, share it instantly. He didn't have cash to pay me, but he offered equity. The value, he said, was like a $500 check only in shares. I remember nodding, but my brain was already doing the math. Rent was due in a week. My printer had just died. I had $20 in my wallet to last until Friday. Equity in a startup felt like a lottery ticket, maybe worth something someday, but useless if you can't buy groceries today. So I passed, politely, and I went back to work. Looking back, that moment was like watching a train leave the station while you're still fumbling for your ticket. At the time, it didn't feel dramatic, it felt practical. That's the thing about missed opportunities. They rarely announce themselves with fireworks. They slip past quietly, disguised as not the right time. Life moved on. Months blurred into years. I kept freelancing, picked up a few bigger clients, even managed to move into a slightly better apartment. But the hustle never stopped. There was always another project, another bill, another reason to tell myself, I'll start saving when I earn more. And here is the trap. More is a moving target. You think you'll save when you hit it, but when you get there, life has already found new ways to spend it. It's like promising yourself you'll start going to the gym when you're less tired. Spoiler, you're never less tired. Then, one chilly morning in 2012, I was scrolling through my news feed over coffee when I saw it. Facebook acquires Instagram for $1 billion. My stomach dropped. That little photo app, that was it. That was the one I'd turned down. My $500 in equity would have been worth around $200,000. I stared at the screen for a long time. It wasn't jealousy that hit me, it was clarity. The real loss wasn't missing out on Instagram. It was never being in a position to say yes to an opportunity like that. I had built my entire working life around surviving the present, with no room for the future. That day, I made a decision. I opened my banking app and created a new account. I called it my opportunity fund. 5% of every payment I received would go there automatically. Not for emergencies, not for vacations, for the day when life would once again slide a chance across the table. I also made a rule. Every Sunday morning, I'd spend an hour reading about new ventures, emerging industries, and ideas that might seem crazy today, but could be obvious tomorrow. I wanted to train my mind to spot the next big thing and have the means to act on it. And here is the funny part. Once I started doing this, I realized opportunities weren't as rare as I thought. They were everywhere. The problem wasn't that they didn't exist, it was that I'd been too broke, too busy, or too distracted to notice them. It's like when you buy a red car and suddenly you see red cars everywhere. The opportunities were always there, I just wasn't tuned in. If there's one thing I learned, it's this: opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. But if you never buy a ticket, you'll always be watching them pass from the sidewalk. The ticket, in this case, is readiness, financial, mental, and emotional. Most people think they'll prepare when the opportunity arrives, but by then, it's too late. Preparation isn't something you do in the moment, it's something you build into your life. It's the habit of setting aside a little money, a little time, and a little mental space for the unknown. And yes, sometimes that unknown will turn out to be nothing, but sometimes it will be your Instagram. And when that day comes, you'll be glad you didn't spend your last $20 on takeout.